Hey, I'm Stephanie. It's almost August, meaning No Buy July will officially be over in just a couple of days. But practically and emotionally speaking, I'm not entirely sure I'm done with it yet. So as the calendar marches on, I'm moving into what I'm calling No Lust August, which, now that I think of it, sounds like the world's worst romance novel. But what it's actually just saying is that I'm not going to be letting shopping fantasies run things this month. I haven't saved up enough for the camera that I want, but more importantly, I've really been enjoying the benefits of savoring the things I normally tend to set aside. And I've been feeling more grounded when I'm not constantly looking for new things to be interested in. So I'm building a monthly makeup bag as a buffer, a luxury decoy, if you will, because if I already have a bag filled with products that I love and am dying to investigate, I'm far less likely to be tempted to lust after something new. When I started making a monthly makeup bag, I was surprised by how helpful it was. Not just practically speaking, although yes, having a grab-and-go solution is really helpful on busy mornings when I don't have a lot of time to think, but it's also been giving me more mental space. There's something very clarifying about creating a capsule collection. Like, I'm not limiting myself. I can still reach for anything I want to on any given day, but having this bag at my fingertips is a great way to create a basic foundation and remind myself of products that I want to focus on. And this time I'm making the bag with some very specific purposes in mind. I want it to help me savor my stuff and to help me discover the nuances of those things instead of lusting after something new. My goal is that every single item in the makeup bag will either be something I'm actively trying to pan, something that I'm evaluating for declutter since I only want to keep the things that add the most value to my makeup routine, or it'll be something I choose just for the pure joy of it. If you saw my recent video, How to Shop Your Stash with Purpose, which I'll link here and below, this is basically me walking the walk, so let's pack. We'll start with Bobbi Brown's Vitamin Enriched Face Base and Eye Base. Both of these are gorgeous, but they're getting close to their expiration dates. I really want to use them up while they're still good, not sadly toss them 3 months from now, muttering, oh, I really meant to use these. My base of choice this month is the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation. This never quite wins me over. Part of that's because the packaging looks nice, but it's completely impractical and it takes forever to get product out of the bottle. But part of it is just because this foundation never seems to sit quite right on my skin. So this month, I'm going to try to figure out if the issue is the foundation itself or if it's the way I'm using it, because I don't want to go to the effort of decanting this into a more useful component if the foundation doesn't work for me anyway. So this one is officially on the chopping block. I'll be comparing the Exa green color corrector to a new green corrector that Salt New York sent me in PR. They look wildly different, so we'll see which one does a better job neutralizing redness without adding any weird undertones. And for under eyes, I'm switching back to the Charlotte Tilbury corrector in shade 2. I loved using the Salt New York under eye corrector last month. The color is great at covering up my particular shade of dark circles, but in this weather, it's just a little too radiant for my taste. I prefer a soft matte finish under the eyes, especially when it's this hot and humid, and the Charlotte Tilbury one always makes my under eyes look smooth without going dry, no matter what the weather. When it comes to concealer, I'm keeping the LANCOME Teint Idole All Over concealer in my bag again this month. It's been my go-to lately, not just because it performs beautifully, but because it's getting up there in age and I would really like to use it up completely before it turns. It has a soft matte finish that never looks dry or cakey on me, so it's perfect for this time of year. Although it is a little bit light right now that I've picked up a little summer color, but I do think I can still make it work. To shape my face, I'll be using my mini of the Westman Atelier Face Trace Stick in the shade Biscuit. I don't feel the need to test or pan this one, I just want to enjoy it and dive deeper into its nuances. Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate is my pick for cream bronzing this month. The finish is dewy, which I tend to like on the outskirts of my face where I put bronzer, and the color is perfect in the summer. In fact, it's a little dark for me for the rest of the year, so I am going to savor the fact that now is the season for this product. I tend to get a little heavy-handed with this at the end of summer, but I like the look and I love the ritual. So I'm not going to try to analyze this one. I just really want to enjoy using it. When it comes to cream blush, I don't think I can choose just one. So first, I'm gonna go with the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge in the shade Powder Pink. This is one of those unassuming shades that looks pleasantly brightening on my tanned skin. I think it also might be nearing the end of its lifespan, so I want to give it some focused attention before it crosses over into Play-Doh territory. The second will be my custom cream blush palette. It's half Makeup Forever and half repotted favorites that I had previously tucked away somewhere else. The shades are bolder than what I usually wear. There's lots of vivid corals and pinks, which makes now the perfect time of year to reach for them. They suit my skin tone better in summer than any other season. For a superstar youth glow, I'm bringing back Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter in shade 3. This shade best matches me when I'm tan, which is now, so I want to enjoy the stretch of weeks where it is a perfect fit. It just gives that healthy skin finish without looking metallic or obvious. To set everything, I'll be testing the new About Face setting powder that I received in PR. I've tried it once or twice, but this will be my first time really living with it, seeing how it wears throughout the day and how it compares to my favorites, like the original and now discontinued formulation of the Givenchy Prisme Libre, Huda Beauty's Easy Bake, and the One Size Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder. I'll be using it in all the usual places, center of the face, under the eyes, around the nose, and I'll report back with thoughts next month. So make sure to subscribe to hear my thoughts on this and everything else in my makeup bag. There won't be any surprises when it comes to my powder bronzer. I am keeping the Gucci bronzer in the bag. It continues to make me happy every time I use it. And we're getting to the time of year when I can really test shade 3 to see if it truly is my natural shade of lived-in summer bronze. But I'm also going to add the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm Face Palette to the mix. I want to see how the contour and blush and highlighter in this palette layer with the Gucci. The highlight is this soft golden champagne tone that I think could look really beautiful on top, especially when I want something a little bit more dimensional since the Gucci has a matte finish. And I think I'm gonna go bold with the powder blush this month. I'm gonna choose NARS Exhibit A. Yes, this NARS Exhibit A, the one that looks like an emergency stop sign in a pan. But when applied with a light hand, it gives me the most realistic sunburnt flush, like I just came back from a walk or accidentally had too much fun in the sun. I never am going to finish this blush in my lifetime because I use so little of it every time I wear it, but I really like having it around for summer. When it comes to eyeshadow, I think I'm gonna give the Natasha Denona bronze palette one last shot. The truth is, I only really use 3 shades in this entire palette: Palladium, Rhodium, and Deep Dive. They're beautiful, and they're the entire reason I reach for this palette at all. But I'm starting to wonder whether it still makes sense to keep the whole palette when I could just depot those 3. I'm not afraid to depot them, especially because with Natasha Denona, the pans are magnetized and they pop out so easily. So if I don't find myself using more of it this month, I might just go ahead and harvest the shades that I love and let the rest go. This is basically its final audition. One last hurrah to see how I really feel about the entire palette as a whole now. Brows is an easy decision because I finally panned my NYX brow pencil, so this month I'm using the only brow pencil I have left, the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Taupe. This shade is a little closer to my natural brow color anyway than the NYX one was, and the formula is solid. My mission is to see if this performs better than the NYX Micro Pencil did, because the NYX Micro Brow Pencil performed just fine and is about half the price. I generally prefer luxury beauty, but some products, especially those that come in pen or pencil form, really don't feel any more luxurious or perform any better when they're from higher priced brands. So this month will help me figure out my real take on the brow pencil situation. When it comes to mascara, I'll be testing the one About Face sent me in PR. So far, I really like how it wears. There is absolutely no smudging and no flaking, but it is a little bit harder for me to remove than other mascaras I've tried, and the look is more defined than fluffy, which isn't bad. It's just not my usual soft and fluffy lash preference. Sometimes mascaras shift as they age, so I'll keep using it this month to see if the formula softens a bit and gives me more of that separated, fluttery lash that I prefer. For my lips, I'm sticking with the same Lisa Eldridge lip combo I used last month, the luxuriously lucent lipstick in Kitten Mischief paired with the Fawn lip liner. They still feel seasonally perfect, especially when I still have some warmth in my skin. I'm also adding Gucci's Goldie Red, mostly because I need to figure out why I never reach for it. It's not the formula, because I own another shade from the same line that I wear often. So this is a little experiment. Am I avoiding this color because I don't think it suits me, or because it just feels a bit bold and I'm being a makeup coward? We'll find out. For eyeliner, I'm trying the NYX Epic Ink Liner pen that a friend sent me after watching my previous eyeliner fails unfold in real time. She swears this one won't explode or dry up in protest or smudge all over my face, so my fingers are crossed. Maybe this will finally be the one! Now that it's all packed, this bag feels like much more than just a buffer or a decoy. It feels like it has potential to pan, to rediscover, to learn, to make decisions. And I think that's going to keep me feeling more grounded and more curious this month and remind me that inspiration doesn't have to come from outside. It can also come from taking a closer and better look at what I have right here. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to see the follow-up video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out this video here. A huge thanks goes out to all my patrons and channel members, including my Adagio angels, for making content like this possible, and I hope we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.